Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another video. This afternoon we're going to be looking at the snake personality and their predictions for this week, and kind of looking at the week previously. So just as always, we're just going to stick the cards here. I'm going to shut my eyes. We're going to give them a shuffle. Oh, try and shuffle anyway. We're going to give them a shuffle and basically pick those three cards. If you are new, then I will just say that there are black and white cards. They are negative and positive, but we can go over that briefly in a moment. I just don't want to keep repeating myself from previous videos because I think really it's quite self-explanatory. We're just going to grab three here. My eyes are closed, so you'll have to excuse it because I can't really see what I'm doing. But that's the point. I don't want to see if it's black. I don't want to see if it's white. I don't want to see what it is, but we're going to leave it there. We're going to take that one from the bottom for the past. We're going to take this one from the middle for the present, and that one there from the top for the future. What we got there? Black, white, white. Not too bad. Black just means that you've had a week that could have been better, but it looks like things could be a lot worse coming for you. They could be a lot worse for you coming in the future, but it's not going to be worse, if that makes sense. These basically mean it could be worse. This is basically it could be better. So it looks like you've had a week where it could be better. But it looks like things are just about to turn around for you. So that's good. That's good. If I remember correctly, the last card that we left it on was the pig card, the boar card. And I think we kind of established that you needed some R&R last week. So let's hope that that helped in a way if you managed to get that. Let's see what we got for you this week. Well, you got the negative dragon there, the black dragon. Now the dragon is very compatible with the snake, very compatible with the snake. So I can kind of get a sense there, even though the week was kind of one of relaxation or one of trying to recuperate and one of recover, you've had to-do lists which have probably gone neglected. There are some stuff now that you're trying to catch up with, or at least this week you've had to kind of try to manage everything and keep things going in a way. You've got jobs to do. They don't just disappear because you're not feeling yourself. You've had to keep on keeping on. I also feel there could be a strain in a relationship somewhere. Maybe there's a kind of a miscommunication or some sort of conflict somewhere that you've left unresolved. And because you've left it unresolved, I mean, dragons don't do that. And I think with the dragon there coming into you in a black way, in that negative way, I feel that that is a case of there is something you've bit your tongue about and you're not happy about it, because dragons would not do that. They tend to, be very fiery and burn a bridge. And I think maybe you've had to hold back a little bit, just a little bit, because the snake and the dragon have they have little animosity for one another, and they can usually, get on pretty well. There's definitely an affinity for success, and there's a very big attraction between the snake and the dragon. So it hasn't been necessarily a bad week. In fact, this week may have been just a little bit difficult because you've had to be a part of a team, or you are a part of a team, maybe at work, maybe in a social aspect, and because you're a part of that team, there's been a bit of difficulty there. Maybe that's where the miscommunication comes from. You're struggling to see mutual aims or mutual benefits between the people that you are spending a lot of your time with, and the people that are, the people that you want to spend your time with. You know who you are, and you feel the people around you are not the people that are you. They're not really for you. And that kind of gives you this element of sympathy, and almost like almost the need to try harder, to try and be like, well, maybe I could do better, and maybe you could, but you're not going to get a compatible relationship if you're always being someone who you're not for the sake of somebody else. And I think that maybe that's what you're feeling at the moment with that dragon card. Like, things need to get done. You need to be practical. You need to be ruthless. You need to be focused. Or at least this week you've come to terms with that. This week, this is what you've had to do. You've had to focus on things, mainly yourself, as I've said previously. You had to focus on yourself. You had to get some R&R. And you haven't given up in that respect. You haven't given up. You feel like, I do need to press on. I do need to keep on keeping on. I've got things that I need to do. And you've got ambitions you want to follow as well. There are still dreams to capture. And I think this week you've kind of thought about it, You've thought about it, that there are things that you want to do, there are seeds you want to plant, and there are things that you've wanted to take part in, and maybe that's a kind of almost relating to this year. There are things that you want to do this year, but there's some things that you have to do right now to clear the way for that, which means currently the situation you are, it isn't a good one. You are in a good current situation with this white card, which is good because it means that you've come to terms with the fact that there is something happening that you need to deal with. Stuff does need to get done. There are things that realistically they do need to change, but it is looking up for you. The dragon is the positive sign of the yin and yang, just as the snake is the negative. So you are looking at a positive sign. It's very compatible with you. It's just black there because I feel like there is a conflict or something that needs to be done. There's something that needs to be resolved. There's something that needs to be resolved. Either you're expecting an apology or you owe someone an apology. You know what they've done wrong. You know what you've done wrong. I'm not quite sure if it's you or them that's the one that's need an apology. Maybe both. Maybe that's where the miscommunication comes from. You could probably both be doing better and thinking about things a little bit better and being a bit more considerate. Snakes, no offense, but you can be a little bit selfish at times, and sometimes it's hard for you to wrap yourself around the idea that other people may feel differently. But you have come into this white card, into this very, very compatible card for you, which is the white ox there. Now that white ox isn't just a positive card, but it is also a card of an affinity member. So that ox there is in your affinity triangle, which means you're very, very compatible. Very compatible. And I think right now you know where you're at. You're in a place of free-flowing energy where you feel comfortable. You're thinking about things because you know you've got things to do and there's stuff that you've got to get done. But you just need to figure out how to do it and which way to approach it. So you've got this ox's patience and this ox's determination here that has got your back. And they don't move very fast, oxes. So snakes can keep up with them. They can relate with them. So therefore, you're going to go for a nice phase right now where you can relax a little bit. Things are going to become a little bit clearer for you. You're going to start figuring things out. You're going to know how to do these things that you need to do because you're going to put that extra thought and effort into figuring it out and thinking about it. And the ox is definitely your ally here. You can definitely utilize this right now. You also need to be aware that there are people around you that are very trustworthy friends. There are people around you that are loyal to you. So even if it is something or someone that you feel, I have to burn a bridge here and this has to stop, or things need to change, or I need to, apologize to this person and I don't know if it's going to go very well, or, whatever it is that's giving you anxiety and caution about this, you can trust that your loyal and your trustworthy friends are going to be there to support you. They've got your back. They're going to stand there beside you, and they're going to respect the fact that you're using this methodical way of approaching things. They're going to respect the fact that you're taking your time and being patient. These are the right people around you, and you can trust them. You can also trust yourself. Trust yourself here. Snakes are very intuitive, and that ox is also a very intuitive card there. So realistically, trust your intuition right now. Trust what it feels like for you. And set your direction and intention very firmly. Know what it is that you're going for. That's what you need to concentrate right now as you go into the week. As you leave today and you move into the week, make sure you know your intentions. Make sure you know where you're at and what you want to do. Right now, I feel you don't have much to complain. You don't have much to moan about. I feel that you're kind of in a place of, after the week just gone, of busy, hard-working, getting stuff done, neglecting things on the to-do list, worrying about stuff, having that anxiety. I think right now you're feeling like you're in a bit more of control of your life. You're feeling a bit more comfortable. You start to trust yourself a bit more, which means you'll trust people around you. There's going to be a few responsibilities that are still there that can't be neglected. There are still things that need to be done. But if you think about it properly and you analyze the situation, you really do reflect on it and think about it and know what you're going to do before you move forward, I think that you're gonna see that there is a level of sort of accomplishment to come from this. I feel that there is going to be some sort of life-changing, long-term effect from the next steps that you take, or at least what you are considering right now. Whatever it is, these things that you are thinking about, these things are going to affect you as you move into next week, and you're going to move into the white goat, or the sheep. Now, the white card is always the positive, so it doesn't look bad, but you always have to take into account that there is that kind of compatibility, or that level of compatibility between the two signs. And unfortunately, the sheep and the snake, that's a very kind of frustrating sort of intense compatibility. So you're gonna find, not only are you gonna be a little bit frustrated, and you're gonna have to be stubborn. And I feel that's what this is saying. Stand your ground, because it's going to be a frustrating week for you. And if you can stand your ground and be stubborn with it, don't make your demands too much, but stand your ground on what it is that you feel is reasonable. Feel that there is sentiment there or a reason for it. Justify it and stand your ground with it. Stand your ground. This isn't realistically a time for you to worry so much. This could even be a time to consider the long-term commitments that you have got, the stuff that have been on this to-do list for way too long. There are many things that you've left neglected or abandoned because they are on the to-do list. They're just not at the top. Maybe it's time to kind of reflect on that. And if there is anything there that is harnessing any sort of emotional baggage or sentimental anchors, maybe it's time to look at severing those ties and moving forward from that. Equally, it could be a time for you to now make as I say, keep them reasonable, but make the demands that you want to see in the future as you go forward. Don't neglect the fact that there's still things to be done. There's still apologies to be made and had. There's still conversations that need to be said. But, as I say, you take your time, don't be unreasonable, and just kind of move into it with an idea of sort of no expectations, unconditional. There doesn't need to be benefits here. No benefit for you, no benefit for them. Right now, it's not about the benefits. It's not even about closure. It's just about being able to move on from where you are, maybe stuck, maybe moving a bit too slow or slower than you would like, or maybe even too fast and maybe too quick. But this is a time for you now to just basically consider where you're at, think about what you're doing, and use your talents, use your, what you have to hand, your skills, to now put things into action. To put things into action. And yes, okay, there are going to be times that people are going to point out negative traits, or they're going to point out that it's not realistically the logical thing to do or the right thing to do, or they would do things differently, and they may influence you. They may try and influence you, but as I say, try and be stubborn here. Try and stick up for yourself a little bit. That's what you kind of need to do. I think you need to be ambitious, and you need to be tenacious. And biding your time is great as a snake. Yes, it serves you well. But right now, coiling up under a rock, sitting back and, bathing in the sun and trying not to get involved with dramas or unnecessary sort of conflicts, that can serve you well. But right now it's just neglecting what you've been putting off for the last however long it's been. And you keep thinking about this as well. And I think now's the time to I'm going to remain stubborn and determined with my decision, and I'm going to follow it through. But we'll find out next week how that goes, and we'll see with another card reading next Wednesday afternoon. So if you have enjoyed that video, then please do hit subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what you think, because the feedback is quite it's quite useful for what I'm trying to achieve. And we'll be back tomorrow with the horse reading in the morning and the sheep or the goat reading in the afternoon. So until then, I hope you have a fantastic day.